Okay, let's do another version. What's going on, guys? Waco from Revolution Magazine here with Guillaume Laidet, the CEO of Nivada Grenchen. How are you, sir?
I'm very pleased to meet you and to have you on my couch again in Paris.
You.
Yes,
Okay, it's a pleasure to be here.
It was a long time.
Exactly.
If you're watching all the videos,
we've shot several videos together because, it's primarily because Guillaume wears so many hats. He's both the revivalist and the head of both Nivada Grenchen and also Vulcan, which is the watch that I'm wearing on my wrist as well. But we're here to talk about a very special Nivada Grenchen, a Depthmaster that is completely blacked out with this beautiful vintage theme like indexes and hands, and has a very entertaining engraving in the back of it as well.
Exactly.
But let's start with the history of the Depthmaster. Tell us about that watch, sir.
Yes, so the Depthmaster was the first watch to be water resistant to 1000 meters. It's a very cool cushion case with 200 clicks bezel, unidirectional. We rated exactly the same case and dial as the vintage ones. We just add an escape valve on the side to be even more water resistant, and we use the same dial, Art Deco dial, which was nicknamed afterwards the Pac-Man because of the video game. And then when we met with Wei in Geneva at Time to Watches, we decided to make a collaboration. If you check the video at Time to Watches, in the end, sometimes I receive message on Instagram about that, saying, "Hey, you're going to make something with Wei in the end." So that means that people are watching until the end. And yes. So it's good. Super pleasure, to be honest. Big follower. So first time we met, and I think we can do some cool things. Yeah.
Let's talk. Cheers, guys.
And yes, so that's the one I was working on a prototype of a black version. I share you the first design and prototypes. And
well, actually, it was super funny because we started first talking about a Chronomaster.
Yes,
right?
At first, exactly.
And we started talking about some of our favorite watches, like from 1972. You've got the Porsche design chronograph, which is the first black watch that was made in collaboration with Orfina in 1974. You've got the Tag Heuer Dark Lord, another blacked out watch with such a great kind of mystique to it as well. And the initial conversation was about like a blacked out orange boy Chronomaster.
Exactly.
And which incidentally, that watch is amazing, and it's an incredibly historic watch because it was the first like water resistant or waterproof chronograph as well.
Exactly.
Right. And then as I was talking about how much I love blacked out watches, Guillaume was like, "Bro, I got to show you something." So then he pulled out the design of this.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I love that.
Yes, and we spoke about the Guinness inspiration of the strap and the dial and what it reminds us, and that's so we came up with this, and also with the Barracuda story that I will let you explain maybe better than me.
Well, we wanted to have the watch to have an option of having it on a leather strap or also on a beads of rice bracelet, but the beads of rice bracelet has to be blacked out as well, right? So in the process of it, we were thinking, but it's kind of funny because there's not that many blacked out diving watches. In fact, I think it was only like in the 90s when like Panerai started to make those like blacked out watches, which are not really diving watches or military watches by that point anymore. And actually, the more we investigated, the more it actually made sense to make a blacked out diving watch. Why?
Exactly.
Well, because there's a fish called the Barracuda, and if you're diving with like say your gold or Saru diving watch, apparently it attracts this fish who is vicious and will bite you. And
so you don't want to be bitten by a Barracuda.
Especially if you're diving like this and you get bitten in the nipple, it could be terrible.
Yes.
So
if you have plastic nipple.
Okay, let's do another version. So if you're submerged under the water. Okay, to be fair, already I'm very afraid of the water. I'm terrified because I watch too many of these like Shark National Geographic episodes. So the idea of like a large silver fish with huge teeth wanting to bite me, it was extremely unpleasant to me. So I was like, okay, let's like make a blacked out diving watch for people like me. Yeah. And then, in kind of homage to the old sort of Tornek Rayvilles, where they had the crossed out radiation sign on it to tell you that there was safer radiation, let's get a engraving of a Barracuda, put a cross mark on it in the back, and call it No Barracuda.
Exactly. So. And that's what Wei asked me, like 1 month before the launch, so we had to remake all the case back because it was not 10.
I'm really sorry about that.
Yes, now we remember that story.
And then we were just trying to decide on the perfect color combination of the indexes and the hands, right? And we were in Geneva at this point, and at the time I was living in 2 Rue de Grange. I've now had to give that apartment up because François Polgeron's mother is living in my apartment.
Okay.
It's a long story there.
Yeah.
but anyway, there was a really cool Irish bar next door. So we went to the Irish bar and we ordered pints of Guinness, which were perfectly poured there. And as we were about to drink our pints of Guinness, we looked at it and we looked at the pints of Guinness, and then we looked at the watch, and we're like, you know what, that's the answer. Let's make the indexes and the hands exactly the same color as what they call the head of the beer, and you have obviously the dark part of the beer being sort of symbolized by the case and the bracelet as well, because it's just such a beautiful color combination. And so even though we're not officially allowed to use the name of the beer company, it was certainly inspired by our love for beer as well.
Of course.
Yes. Guillaume, thank you so much for this collaboration.
You're welcome.
Also an incredible value proposition. I mean, that's what I love about what you do with all of your
watches.
Yes,
and exactly, yes. And the point is that I always want to be affordable regarding the quality. So obviously Swiss made, but also yes, with a price at 1,000 USD. So
phenomenal.
Even less. So for the Depthmaster, so it's 900, sorry, and so 9,000 would not be that good.
It's
but
900.
Yes, and plus 200 for the bracelet,
right.
And you will have also a black bit of rice bracelet available on this one.
For $1,000, you get a diving watch for 1,000 meters water resistant,
exactly.
with a helium release valve, blacked out with a super high quality coating, black beads of rice bracelet as well, and a symbol that Barracuda is.
Yes,
and our assurance.
And limited to 150 pieces.
Well, limited to 150 pieces, and on top of that, our personal assurance that no Barracudas will bite you in the nipples. Okay.
So can wear with silicone breast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you guys.